New this morning, we're working to learn more about a late night incident in downtown Minneapolis.
So here's a look at what was going on around 11:30 last night. This is at 10th Street and Marquette Avenue. According to the Minneapolis Crime Dashboard, a call for a stabbing had happened right in this area. We have reached out to police. We'll update you just as soon as we learn more.
Right now, the man now convicted in the lawmaker attacks is waiting to learn his fate. Vance Belter changed his plea to federal charges to guilty, meaning no trial, and he will go straight to sentencing, where he's expected to get 2 consecutive life sentences.
But he also still faces the state charges against him, and this case and sentencing could impact that outcome too. Our Maria Lisignoli at the live desk this morning, because Maria, even with those 2 life sentences from the feds, the state still wants to press those charges.
Yes, that's right. It all comes down to accountability. Because these crimes were done in Hennepin County, County Attorney Mary Moriarty says Vance Belter will answer to state charges. If convicted, Belter could face another mandatory life in prison sentence. At the state level, Belter is charged with 2 counts of first-degree premeditated murder, 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder, felony cruelty to an animal, and impersonating a police officer. Rachel Moran is a law professor at the University of St. Thomas. She's not affiliated with this case, but she does believe the state case could move much faster and look similar.
It's unlikely Mr. Belter would go to trial in state court. The more likely scenario if the state does move forward would probably be trying to negotiate a guilty plea like we just saw in federal court.
Sentencing in the federal case is expected later this summer. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office says they're already in contact with federal prosecutors to get Belter transferred to state custody.
All right. Well, either way, it will be behind bars there. Maria, thank you. Now, State Senator John Hoffman and his family reacted to the guilty plea, saying, in part, there is no justice for Mark and Melissa Hortman, and there is not justice when our family and our state will never truly heal. They called on everyone to treat each other with respect, a message that was echoed yesterday on Capitol Hill.
Melissa stood up for others. She spoke truth to power, and she insisted that we treat each other with dignity and respect.
She was a generational leader. She led with integrity and courage. She consistently reached across the aisle to make life better for Minnesotans.
That's both Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith honoring the Hortmans on the U.S. Senate floor yesterday. And Governor Walz also honoring the lives of the Hortmans. This is with a new proclamation.
Yeah, the governor announced yesterday that June will be Public Service Month in Minnesota. In the proclamation, Walz said in part, quote, Melissa and Mark Hortman served their communities with the knowledge that a better world is possible, and it is up to us, each of us, to work to make that a reality. Walz says this month is a chance to honor public servants and create opportunities to participate in public service. One of the ways the Hortmans served the community was through their work with Helping Paws.
And that's an organization it's in Eden Prairie. It trains service dogs, and it's where their dog Gilbert came from. The Hortmans were fostering him, but then he became a permanent family member when he was deemed too friendly for that service work.
Gilbert was also killed the night of the lawmaker attacks, and now in honor of their service, Mark and Melissa Hortman's names are posted outside of Helping Paws. The organization's executive director, Alyssa Golob, says learning about the plea agreement has brought some relief.
We always wanted justice for Melissa, Mark, and Gilbert, and so knowing that justice is going to be served, that's something that we all hope for as the Helping Paws community.
Golob says she hopes the plea deal doesn't overshadow the Hortmans' legacy of service, compassion, and dedication to helping others. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll take a closer look at those 43 hours after the attacks when a manhunt spanned the state.
A man charged in Minnesota's biggest fraud case says he didn't do it. Saeed Areg pleaded not guilty. This is to playing a part in that Feeding Our Future scheme. He pled guilty, not guilty, I should say, yesterday. He surrendered to federal investigators after the FBI had added him to their most wanted list. Now, prosecutors say Areg was the owner and operator of Evergreen Grocery and Deli in South Minneapolis. They say he took in more than $4 million in federal payments that were meant to serve hungry kids. Eric's wife pleaded guilty to money laundering last year.
Money is now once again going to thousands of Medicaid service providers originally flagged for fraud in Minnesota. State human service officials say they lifted payment suspensions for more than 2,100 care providers who who appealed after losing funding. They were part of a nearly 5,600 programs deemed high risk for fraud, and 59 of those providers are under review by the state's new inspector general. The reviewed scrutiny from the state is part of a mandate to preserve $2 billion in federal funding. Some providers say they were swept up in the crackdown despite doing decades of doing things by the book. DHS officials say, "We care deeply that vulnerable Minnesotans are getting the care they need from trusted providers, but they also have to make sure providers are meeting legal requirements." Well, in other news, Elon Musk is today expected to become the world's first trillionaire. This morning, Elon Musk's SpaceX went public.
Yeah.
Got video of it happening there. Aerospace company priced its stock at $135, expects to raise $75 billion, making it the largest ever IPO. After the offering, the company projected to be valued at $1.77 trillion.
Okay, and so here's the story here is that Elon Musk's, owns the majority of this company.
Yeah.
So on paper, he's going to be a trillionaire. Okay,
Right.
on paper, right?
Right.
And so it's not real money because we don't know where SpaceX is going to go and all the valuation, but we always, it's like whenever the lottery happens, like, what would you do, Joseph, if you won $1 billion, right?
Not even, you'd be like 10 million.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
it's just something that I personally just cannot fathom.
Right. It's just hard to even conceptualize that much money. It's insane. And actually, if you spent $1 million every hour, every day, it would take a century to get to 1 trillion.
Think about it. A trillion, it's a million millions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a billion's 1,000 million, so this would be a million millions.
I think you're onto it. I think you're onto
I
it.
just have to do the math in my head.
But where would you think about how large SpaceX is though?
Yeah.
What type of money do you deserve for going down that road? That's a big feat. So I kind of understand why someone who's doing that should maybe have that much money.
I don't know. I mean, you look at the Bill Gates and the Larry Ellisons and the Jeff Bezoses. I mean, they're if you added up all of those people, then they're getting to a trillion. But they're so far behind. And you think about how much money they had, right? Wasn't there? Okay, so Barrett, you were looking into this.
Yeah.
These are the economies of entire countries aren't even $1 trillion.
Yeah, there's only 20 countries that have economies more than 1 trillion. But some of these, like Taiwan, Ireland, Sweden, countries that you wouldn't necessarily, they're successful countries, they're good economies, but it's just really wild that one person now exceeds the economy of a lot of the countries in this world. Also, the economy of Manhattan. So these are all things worth less than Elon Musk right now. And also all the property in Houston, Texas. Every new vehicle purchased in the U.S., that's worth less than Elon Musk right now.
It does beg the question that should this much wealth be concentrated in the hands of so few? And I think that's been brought up with this perspective. But and we'll see what happens with Elon Musk's if he continues to stay a trillionaire. What happens with SpaceX and the translation into all of that. I mean, think about when the Rockefellers and JP Morgan, when they were becoming the first millionaires and billionaires. But you're right. It's just nuts to think about how much
I don't want that responsibility. I don't need any of his life.
No.
Intense.
Not for me.
No. So fewer babies and smartphones. There are 2 new studies now saying that there's a link between the two. In fact, one of the studies says the iPhone is responsible for up to half of the fertility decline in the U.S. over the past 2 decades. Which is bonkers.
That's
so bonkers.
Are we sure?
I have a hard time
No,
believing it.
we're not sure. We're not sure. But, and even the researcher says, look, it's not going to be explanation for the entire decline. It's a significant decline. I mean, we're talking about 20% change over the past 20 years. But she says it's something that we should look at. And she said she started thinking about it when her stepson was telling her he was noticing his younger siblings were having a really different childhood experience than he was.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, it's completely different. And then you fast forward that out to the time frame where you're thinking about having kids, and it makes that much of an impact.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I see the difference between my nieces and nephews who are, 12, 11 kids, and it's a wild
It is.
difference.
They're saying that these kids have fewer, they're using their phones, or one of the reasons could be they're using their phones to substitute for in-person interactions. The other thing too, and this is, it's sort of something that's probably harder to talk about, but also it just makes access to porn easier. It's easier to get information about birth control. So all of these things might be part of that too. But I was wondering, how do you test that? Because if there are so many other reasons why the birth rate is declining.
How's this test
The
go?
cost of childcare, the rise in birth control, financial issues, the recession, 2008.
That's what I was thinking,
You would think
yeah.
and it is. It's a lot of those things too. But I forgot this. I forgot that AT&T had exclusive rights to the iPhone when it started. Do either of you? Barrett probably doesn't. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but I
you
had
to have an
AT&T, so it does
So
make
this is in
sense.
2007. So what they did was they compared counties that had high rates of AT&T service compared to counties that didn't have high rates, so they could sort of isolate the iPhone early on, and
That's kind of
so
fascinating.
it helps you control for the financial issues and the cost of childcare, and that's where she said that she was able to come up. There was research that was able to come up with that information.
That is
I know.
so interesting. I didn't know. I don't remember that.
Yeah, no.
I could see the initial wave of the iPhone really messing with things, but at this point in time, we're so
Well,
used to
also
it.
remember
that
the
you
initial
think-
wave of the iPhone didn't have Instagram and Facebook
That's
and
true,
Snapchat
yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah, all the
so there are
other
other
goodies, it's
researchers.
evolved.
Yeah, there are other researchers that say, look, there may be something to it, but it may not be quite what they think that is. But her point was, it's something we need to think about as we move forward, because globally fertility rates have been declining, and that becomes a really big issue, especially with the news we had earlier this week that the Social Security Trust Fund could be exhausted by 2032.
I sort of kind of blame everything on
I do
iPhones
too.
and social
I do
media,
too.
and I will soon blame everything on
phones.
AI
Yeah.
until that comes through. But I can see there being some sort of problem.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Animal Humane Society joins us now. Caroline, you were here, but who did you bring?
This is Animosh and a collection of his favorite things.
Yes. Tell us all about Animosh.
Well, he is about a 2-month-old puppy from Leech Lake Legacy.
Hi.
And he should be available in the coming weeks, so keep an eye on the website for sure. But yeah, he is currently learning how to dog.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job at it.
He's doing a
awesome
great job.
Barrett, I can't.
Oh, I
even.
just
I
the
really
puppy
can't.
fever.
Yeah.
I think he knows you're talking about him too.
Yeah, we
This is the
are.
first time I've seen him sit still all day.
Hi, honey pie.
He's excited to be here.
Lives for the spotlight.
Yes,
Caroline,
yes.
tell us why you're here today.
To hold this puppy,
Yeah,
mostly.
right?
No, I'm here today because in our community partnerships programming, we are going to be having a free pet food and supply pop-up coming up on June 20th at our St. Paul location. And we do those every couple of months, every quarter, to make sure that people from whatever background, whatever they're going through, whatever financial status, they're able to care for their pets the way they want and keep their pets at home happy and healthy and eating treats off the floor. So yeah, it's just one of the ways that we try to keep people with their pets and vice versa.
Yeah.
So-
And this pop-up is happening June 20th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beautiful. Why is this program so important, keeping pets and people together?
I know it sounds kind of silly, right? It's like pet food. Why would that be such a big deal?
Yeah,
It's expensive.
It is expensive, and increasingly so with inflation. I know, sorry, you're all wrapped up. But we know that where there are people, there are pets, and pets
Who
are family.
are really important to them.
Absolutely, and a lot of people, their pets are some of their only family.
Right.
So it's really important for us. Obviously we care about animals in shelter, but we also want to be able to
Knock it towards him. Knock it towards him.
We also want to be able to.
Here,
He's gone rogue.
Here he
He's
comes.
rogue. He's coming
Ron's
back,
gonna help
though.
us out. Ron's gonna
gonna
get his
help.
little toy bag.
Come here, Animosh.
So I'm wondering, are you seeing more people at these pop-ups? More people that are needing help out there? Because we've seen it at food shelves. I'm wondering if we see it at animal food shelves.
Well, so we also distribute pet food through Second Harvest to human food
okay.
shelves.
Yeah.
And I will say it's sort of tough to tell. I know that there is an increased need because of inflation and like general numbers that we have. But Operation Metro Surge made it really difficult to be able to determine what the need actually was because so many folks were afraid. They were afraid to attend food shelves. They were afraid to seek assistance anywhere, really. And so since then, yes, we're seeing more folks coming out. But it's really tough to tell if that's because there's a changing need or because people are feeling safer again.
Right. Yeah. And this is just one part of what you do to help keep people and pets together.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the wellness clinics.
Yep. We do free pop-up wellness clinics. We were at the St. Paul Opportunity Center on Tuesday, saw about 54 pets in 7 hours, which was really exciting, trying to expand access to pet inclusive housing. If it's between, an updated rabies vaccine and losing your lease, we're able to step in there, and that's really important as well in this, comprehensive approach of supporting the entire family, not just people and not just pets. So,
So where's Animash when somebody wants to come adopt him?
Seems like he's gone rogue.
Okay, yeah. He's a puppy. Puppy.
I would keep an eye on our website.
He's coming.
At animalhumansociety.org because we update it in real time, so as soon as he's available, you'll know. And I'm sure that he will not be available for super long.
He's so cute.
Yeah, I might take him. So.
Animash, Caroline, thank you so much. And again, you'll find more information about the pet food pop-up.
You're all welcome.
On the Animal Humane Society website.
June 20th. We'll see you there.
A fun way to spring into summer is to buy vintage glassware for outdoor parties. You can find other unique, sustainable vintage accessories and clothes at Ruthie's house over in Waconia.
Yeah, so we got the owner of that store joining us this morning, Ashley Klatt-Olson here. Thank you for coming. I love it so much when you come because you bring just
all sorts of goodies.
Incredible good stuff.
Yeah. Well,
tell us what you got here today.
Yes, well, thank you for having me back. It's so fun to be here. Today, I love to think about how to incorporate vintage into all seasons. And I would say this about any season I'm here, but I love summer because you can incorporate bright vintage colors and just there's so many ways. So at my house we have a lot of bonfires every summer, and you see a lot of these old vintage blankets, and while I like them in my living room, I know not everyone will, but a fun way we incorporate them is we use them at bonfires in the summer, and it's fun to stay warm by the fire. And the other thing I love to do with vintage is I find vintage pots everywhere I go, and so I brought a few from my own house today that I've been planting different plants that then I'll plant as seeds, and then I'll remove them from the pot, save those pots for next year, and use those seeds in my garden for this year.
A little splash of fun. I know, I had my eye on that one too.
Ashley, tell us about this piece.
So I found that lovely piece on a beautiful Lake Minnetonka home, and it had been sitting in someone's garage for probably 50 plus years.
Oh, wow.
What I do with all my vintage goodies that I find is I freeze them for a couple weeks, and it helps get out anything that may be hanging out in there or smells. And then once I lay it out in the sun, which you can do in the summer, and now it feels great. It is good as new, and it's ready to go to its new home.
Was this an estate sale?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where a lot of these things are coming from.
I do a lot of estates or buying appointments, and you guys, it's garage sale season. So hit up those garage sales. It's truly my favorite time of year.
And you also have some like clothing items, the shoes over here. I see some jeans over here with the flowers. Gotta hold those up. Those are kind of fun.
It's a gorgeous little 90s denim skirt.
Oh, it's a skirt.
It's back.
It's so back. I love it. And this is down here is a little
fun.
1960s cover-up. That, you guys, someone made that. Can you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Someone made that with a gorgeous purse and the loafer. Like I always believe, bring back the loafer, and it's back.
Ashley, where can people find you? And are you going to be at different markets and things this summer? What's your story?
Yes. So my store is located in Waconia, which is about 35 minutes west of the Twin Cities. So many great shops and restaurants. Check it out if you haven't been. And this weekend, you can shop Ruthie's house. Today, 12 to 4, Saturday, 11 to 3 every week, and I'll actually be at a market it's called the West Tonka Vintage Market, hosted by a lovely shop in Mound called Modern Again, and there will be over 15 vendors. It's tomorrow in Mound from 9 to 2.
Great.
Yeah,
Remind people, because this happens all the time, and I've done it before. I've called you Ruthie before, but remind us the story behind Ruthie's name.
Well, it is an honor to be called Ruthie because my grandma Ruthie, who's watching, she watches every time. She is 103 years old in July. She says once January hits, she gets to round up to the next year. So now she'll be 103 in just about a month, and she is still with us. And we grew up garage sailing and thrifting, and she's truly my inspiration for all things. And the store is named after her.
How special is that? I love that.
You gotta get out there.
Yeah, you do. Over in Waconia.
Yeah. All right, Ashley, thank you so much.
Today is International Falafel Day. One of the places in the Twin Cities you can enjoy falafel is at Lifetime in Highland Park in St. Paul. And you don't have to belong to this Lifetime to go to the restaurant. Medbox Grill is open to the public and it's on street level. And we have some friends here in the CCO kitchen with us, the restaurant owners, Sami and Layla. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
It smells so good, and we have been enjoying the smells of falafel all morning. So we are excited to talk about what all the goodies we have here for us in store today. Can you walk us through a little bit about the food you brought in?
Yes, so we brought in falafel dishes. We have a ton of options that you can order at the restaurant. We have a falafel pita wrap here. We have falafel appetizer, it's just on its own. A 14-inch falafel wrap in the tortilla, and then a falafel plate. And you've got rice, hummus, and a Greek salad there, as well as dolma, which is stuffed grape leaves. And the origins of falafel are thought to have been from Egypt. The Coptic Christians needed a meat substitute for Lent, and it spread throughout the Levant and became a staple. And it's loved by vegans and vegetarians, but as an avid meat eater, I go for it at least a couple times a week.
Agree.
It's so good.
Absolutely. Sami, you started as a food truck in 2017, now 2 locations out in Shan and then in the Highland Park. Tell us about that journey.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And the reason we got into it is because how interesting it sounded. So, we opened our first location in Chenessen in 2020, right during pandemic. So that was a challenge alone, but we survived. And we had the partnership with Lifetime since last year. Just the idea of Mediterranean diet being one of the healthiest diet in the world. And that kind of aligned with Lifetime's promoting of health all around. And it's been working great for us so far.
The way I understand it, and as the CEO of Lifetime out in Shan, was a big fan of your restaurant here. You were going to be making some falafel because I always buy mine because I figure it's too hard to make. But tell us how we do this.
It's actually so easy. So you just have to soak fava beans and garbanzo beans. You can only use garbanzo beans as well, and you soak them for about 4 or 5 hours. And after that, you just throw them in the food processor with bunch of other spices like coriander, turmeric, paprika, salt, and we also use fresh vegetables like parsley, Italian parsley, cilantro, fresh garlic, fresh onion, and then we just blend it all, and you get this wonderful blend right here. And then after that, you just bring oil to the boil, and you scoop it in there.
How long do we boil for?
It's about 3-4 minutes, not even that long actually, but I had some ready-made here. And then with the pita, we always prefer pita because it's a staple, and we have a nice fresh hummus just spread on the pita. And then to make a wrap to yourself, you can even make it at home. Just put your falafels, put your veggies.
And all vegan.
All vegan. This is all vegan, correct, yes.
Gotta get that tahini sauce
and
on there.
You gotta get the tahini sauce. It's a nice, zesty, lemony with dill. It's just so delicious.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we are going to have Joseph do the weather, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna give us all a try here for all of this. But, okay, so Joseph, take it away.